Hi guys, it's Devin here for episode number 2 of Screaming Females. This week's topic is going to be on abusive relationships. So, I'm sure the first thing you think about when you hear abusive relationships is physical abuse. But I just wanted to let you know that physical abuse isn't the only kind of abusive relationships that exists. So, when I'm referring to abusive relationships, I'm thinking about parental relationships or student-teacher relationships or even significant other relationships. So, emotionally abusive relationships, in my opinion, might be the worst kind of abusive relationships because, for one reason, your mind is just as precious an asset as your body is, and no matter what, you always have to be emotionally and mentally stable, so it's really hard to keep that going throughout your whole life. So I'm going to give you my first personal story relating to abusive relationships, so here it goes. So when I was 12 years old, my parents got divorced, and I was in 6th grade. And at that point in my life, I had no idea how to deal with people making fun of me or people talking down to me or to brush it off my shoulder like it was nothing. So my parents hadn't been getting along for a while, and being an intuitive child, I anticipated the divorce. So my mom and dad, one early morning on a Sunday, came into my room, and my mom just said, we're going to get a divorce. And as soon as those words were uttered out of her mouth, I knew things were going to change. And I'm sure lots of you have divorced parents, and it's not a big deal because people get over it and people aren't always sad because you know that there's always something else to keep you positive in life. So at the point that was happening was my dad was emotionally abusive, not in a way that you would think of, not as severe. He's not a bad guy, I swear. It's just that he grew up in a family in which hugging, kissing people, and telling them you love them wasn't something that was common, and he wasn't really used to it. So being a product of my environment, I wound up being the kind of person who doesn't really know how to show affection. And it's not a bad thing, it's just something that I'll have to learn separately from the rest of everything that I'm having to learn as a child. So people might grow up in a family where, they come in the door and they hug and kiss you, and it wasn't ever like that for me. And I'm not trying to get you to feel sorry for me, it's nothing like that. It's something that I'll have to learn. Wasn't part of my normal childhood. So if you're ever in a situation where you feel emotionally or physically threatened, definitely let somebody know, because you know that there's always going to be someone there to help you. And whether you're in an abusive relationship with a significant other, if your boyfriend or girlfriend's abusing you, let someone know, because you always know that there's someone there to help. And don't ever feel like you're alone, because there's always going to be someone there willing to help you. So they don't teach you this in school, but I feel like they should teach you this in school, because this is a really important thing to learn and to be able to handle, because it's going to happen throughout your life, and you're going to have to learn how to brush it off your shoulder, and you're going to have to learn how to get through it, because you have to persevere, always. So whatever the case may be, always know that there's someone there to help you. So this week's Song of the Week, I'm going to post it in the link below in the box, and it's called For Emma, and it's by one of my favorite bands, Bon Iver. So tune in next week for another episode of Screaming Females, and I'll see you all next week.